I'm joined by Rowena Yip and Dr. Jirapatnakul. Thank you so much for joining me and talking a little bit about your research and the work that you do that PCF helps with. First things first, could you please each kind of introduce yourself and what you do and what the work is that you do on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. So my name is Artit Jirapatnakul. I'm an associate professor of radiology at the Icahn School of Mount Sinai in New York. I'm actually an electrical engineer by training, so I work with developing algorithms using computer vision and AI to help diagnose lung cancer at an early stage and hopefully save more lives.
I'm Rowena Yip. I'm the senior biostatistician also at Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. I'm responsible for running all the analysis, statistical analysis using our database, specifically in projects related to lung cancer screening.
Going to kick things off with just some silly questions about gaming. So, Artie, I know you said you're familiar with with Games Done Quick, with the stream and everything, but how much of a gamer are either of you? Do you play very many video games at all, or maybe in the past as well?
So I don't have as much time as I used to play video games, but I try to get some gaming in every once in a while. I mean, I just finished playing the latest Kirby game with my wife.
Oh, great. I'm curious if you all are familiar with what speedrunning is, and specifically could explain speedrunning in 5 words. Rowena, we're gonna start with you because I think Archie has a little bit of a leg up on this one.
I just quickly Wikipedia it this morning. Actually, I don't know if I understand it correctly. So my understanding is you have a group of people, audience and some players, and I think it's just a few days events, and then you have some gamers playing, and then the audience can donate money to as some incentive to name character or some other things that the gamer can do. I don't know. Yeah,
pretty much. Artin, any other guesses about speedrunning in general?
So what is speedrunning? So yeah, as I said earlier in our conversation, I actually watch the GDQ streams, so I have a little bit of knowledge of what it is. So it's essentially people are trying to beat video games as fast as possible, and I guess they can have different criteria about what the clear conditions are, but really it's just a kind of friendly competition for people to try to beat the games as fast as they can.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You did a good job describing our event as well, which is putting a lot of those back to back. I'm gonna throw a curveball. You know what speedrunning is. So you said you just played, was it Kirby in the Forgotten Land that you just finished playing? What do you think the world record fastest time is for Kirby in the Forgotten Land?
Oh boy. We're talking 100% clear or just
any percent. Just got to get to the credits as quickly as they can.
Oh boy. That's a good question because I haven't watched any speedrun videos of it yet. So I'm gonna guess hour and a half.
Hour and a half? That's not bad. That's pretty close.
World record is 1 hour, 37 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Very
impressive.
Good. Very good guess. You're the closest so far in terms of people have asked about that kind of thing. That's great. But let's dig a bit more into why you're here this weekend and everything, the quantitative imaging workshop, and about some of the work that you do as well. So a workshop like this, what is the kind of big benefit for you on coming here and getting to talk with peers about cancer prevention and imaging specifically? Rowena, you want to start?
This is probably my at least 5 or 6 times coming here for the workshop. I always find this workshop very helpful, a lot of interesting idea and new things that I learned from this workshop, specifically more on what's the latest in terms of imaging, and a lot of times a lot of opportunities to kind of interact with people and form collaborations.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to echo what Rowena was saying about the participation in the workshop. I've also been coming here for several years, and in addition to kind of just being able to catch up on sort of the new developments in the field, it is one of the only places where, first of all, it's focused just on quantitative imaging, and then second, I mean, you have like these leaders in the field that, and it's such a small meeting, you get to have these kind of close conversations that you don't get anywhere else. For example, there's former heads of the FDA here, heads of all the major lung screening organizations, and so there's just so much opportunity to collaborate and discuss and make connections. These are also the people that help review grants and papers. So in terms of us as kind of early career scientists, it's incredibly helpful.
Yeah, talking a bit more about grants and that sort of thing, how does Prevent Cancer Foundation help you fulfill your research, or perform your research rather, into cancer prevention, early detection?
So I guess I should mention that I was a recipient of one of the Prevent Cancer Foundation Awards in 2020. So I actually have to double check that. But what the Prevent Cancer Foundation, they focus on sort of high risk, high reward kind of research. So the grant that I was working on, the research I was working on, is to look at the factors that affect the uncertainty of measuring nodules. And without going into it in too much detail, that's important because when you see a lung nodule on a CT scan, the question is, what do you do with it? Is it cancer? Is it not cancer? When do you bring the patient in? And right now, the protocols, which Rowena actually had a lot of influence on, they're based on evidence, but their size, they're kind of just like, if it's above a certain size, then come back in 3 months. If it grows by 20%, 25%, then come back. Then it's like, they have to go to surgery or get a biopsy. And some of these numbers, 3 months, 25%, while they're based in evidence, those are kind of just nice round numbers that are kind of indirectly designed to account for the fact that, when you make a measurement, when you say a nodule is 6 millimeters, there's some error bars around that. And if we can understand what that is, for example, if a nodule is has a sharper border, or it's more spherical, so it's easier to measure, you can kind of say, well, I know the nodule has less uncertainty around it, so rather than waiting 3 months, they can come back in 1 month. Likewise, same thing with the growth. If you knew maybe your measurement has a variation of 5%, then if you see a 10% measurement, then that's growing significantly, and you don't have to wait for that 20%. So it's a way to find, to help determine if people have cancer sooner. And this work that I'm working on, it probably wouldn't have been funded any other way other than with the Prevent Cancer Foundation. And there's a lot of different reasons about that, but for something like this, where it's both a little bit niche, but you can kind of understand the impact would be huge. But it's sometimes hard through the more conventional funding mechanisms like the NIH or things like that to get something like that funded. And I think one other thing that I definitely appreciate as a early career scientist was this was actually the first grant that I got, and they, I think they're more willing to take that risk on people that are not quite as established. So
I imagine it could be hard to sell, a research project that seems to be about kind of looking in the margins and finding the gains that are going to end up expanding out to apply to every diagnosis almost, or every scan, every time you're looking at one of those nodules, I believe you called them, right? It seems like the kind of thing that absolutely could apply very widely, but look like a very small kind of thing that you're looking at. And I have to imagine a large part of that is you mentioned developing algorithms to help improve this kind of thing, but also I have to mention data analysis is big on trying to detect patterns to help refine that kind of thing. Am I right on that? I think, Rowena, you said you did a lot more of the analysis side of the data.
I think this particular topic is very important in terms of lung cancer screening and our research and the research that we do in our group. I'm also involved in some of the analysis for Artit's project. And we think that this kind of projects can not only apply first, it's very important for lung cancer screening, and we'll be able to measure nodule more accurately and determine the best workup once a period. We're able to kind of put a confidence bound between around the nodule measurement, so we'll be able to assess growth more accurately and determine the best follow-up time for each patient. And ideally, with this projects, we'll be able to kind of standardize nodule measurement in a way that even if a more diverse population, people with different BMI or different race, or they are getting scans from different hospitals, we'll be able to standardize the measurement or account for a different measurement area when we want to assess growth. And hopefully those will encourage more people going to get screening, and that will be a first step for implementation for large-scale lung cancer screening.
Yeah, we were talking in the previous interview a lot about how it is easy for people to not necessarily, hear about a false positive, or you hear about something get misdiagnosed, and then that trust is kind of lost a little bit. It sounds like focusing in on accuracy is something that would be pivotal to helping make sure that people know they need to go get these screenings, that these results are things that they're able to trust, and it is something that is worth that time, worth that effort, worth sometimes that cost to go and get done.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'm not sure if you're aware, lung cancer has one of the highest, the lowest survival rates. Conventionally, I mean, if you find it early, I guess just with most cancers, you can, have I think Rowena has the exact numbers, but 90% chance of curing it. So I think the impact in the lung cancer field is huge. There's and just as you're saying, there's a lot of barriers to people being screened, and so I think anything that you can do to reduce the possible negative side effects, the more people can would be more willing to undergo this potentially life-saving screening.
Yeah, well, that's covered most of what I wanted to get into in terms of your research, in terms of what's going on here at the workshop, but did want to leave a space if there's anything else you wanted to say to either just people out there that they should know about lung cancer and screening and the work you do, or if you just want to, like any message you want to send out to the Games Done Quick fans or anything like that.
I think I just want to thank you, the fans and your group, of providing opportunity and funding our research, or this foundation, which indirectly support our research and help with lung cancer screening.
So I would like to echo what Rowena was saying. Especially this Prevent Cancer grant that I got has been sort of pivotal for my career. Aside from the research, which it has definitely made possible, but it helped me get a promotion, and I also obtained another larger grant from the NIH eventually. So the work that I did with this Prevent Cancer grant, which the AGDQ has helped fund, has really helped my career. And I do want to can I give a shout out to one of my favorite
Absolutely.
streamers?
Oh, 100%.
So I want to
you
say,
can straight up look into the camera for that one if you want. That's up to you.
so I want to say hi to Penjiga Panga. I catch your YouTube streams every day.
Thank you so much again, both of you, for your time and for the work that you do in trying to help save lives and really, help everybody with early cancer detection and prevention. Thank you so much.